Okay, I never talk about this workflow, but I actually use sometimes, depending on what I'm doing, the iPad as the controller. Sequence AU keys and inside of AUM is really nice, and then you can use plug your iPad into your MacBook if you have one, at least on the M1s for sure, and you can use it as a controller. So there's the bass. So I'm just using it as a controller, which is really nice. But sometimes, like if I want to start in Koala, if I'm not starting on the phone and I'm starting on the computer, just for getting down some ideas, I can pull up using Loopback, right? Because I can run anything out of Ableton and then send it wherever I want, pretty much. By using the version on the MacBook, you can set the input and output. Unfortunately, that's not on iOS, but you can do it here, which means I can record bits and pieces and nuggets of whatever I like in here. So that's what I did. Did a little starter in here. I'm going to get rid of this one. Hold on. And you can hear it. This is with the bass. By the way, this is me clapping into this Rode NT. And this is me like using like a scissor sound with your fingers. And then I went in and shaped these sounds. So I might end up using these drums. I don't know. See, they're right here. Because I redid these drums in here. This was just to get started really quick. The kick is always the hardest, so I use the actual kick. The bass is from Trillion. I just sampled in a one shot. And then these pads I made are from, I didn't make them, but recorded in, are from Omnisphere. And the texture is actually Opal, which is like the desktop version, I'd say, of Lord, my brain's drawing blank. The Digitech box, whatever. So I did some random stuff in there just to see what I come up with. Boom, and I came up with this little texture piece I like. So then I exported from Koala because I got to the point where I was like, all right, I ain't doing nothing else in Koala right now. So export from Koala, sent those pieces over, and that's what these pads and texture. I didn't send the kicks over. And then I redid my own kicks and whatever's in, you can see them right here and here. And then used Trillion to come up with a bass. So here's the bass. So this is a workflow that I like to do sometimes. And a lot of times I'm doing Koala stuff on my phone first, like if I might be chopping samples or listening to a sample just to get an idea. And then it's kind of like a scratch pad, right? Get an idea. I might start some of it in Koala and actually get so far. But then there comes a point where, and personally I like using Koala in standalone more than I do in AUM. I do use it in AUM, but it's because it's the only way I can get instruments recorded into it. But if I'm going to sample, then Koala is fun for that, right? It's fun for just taking samples, chopping up samples. I don't per se usually make instruments in it. I'll record an instrument into it. Sometimes I'll use a one shot just to kind of create something, but just depends on where I'm going with the song and what I'm doing. Anywho, getting back to what I was going to say. A lot of times I won't finish in Koala, so that's where Ableton comes in. And I'll jump over here and then use Ableton to finish the song. So that's what you see right here, where I brought over the parts, export them out. Now you can export over to here. It'll place them all in here, and then you got to drag them to get them back over here. I don't want to do all that. It's too much work. It's easy just to export them over, drop them in a folder, which I have a folder set up called Other that I put a lot of the Koala Beatcast stuff in that I do. And there's the parts. And just drag them in here and go to town, get to work, and finish up your song in Ableton, where you got more access to your tools, like different keys, like pads, like, Omnisphere, pigments, stuff like that, to get better sounds. So yeah, just different workflow, but I'm more into the computer workflow just because I want the best sound possible. And it requires some more work for me when I'm on iPad. Unless I'm using like AUM to mix it, it requires a bit more work in Koala to get everything to sound right. So to not have to go through that, I just like to use the Koala on the desktop and just record straight into it. So anyway, that's it for this video. I'm going to put Koala like this, so when I take a picture of this, it'll show up this way on the thumbnail. All right, that's it for this video, and I'm out.